the village of Timberlake.
Morning, Commissioners. Again, I was present at some of those meetings, and again, they were very good. And considering what we had to deal with, I think they did a great job as far as putting the monies where it had to be. But there's a resolution in front of you right now. I mean, it's a good resolution. It's got a lot of hard work being put into it. But what's missing? Numbers. Okay. And there's no numbers on this. And basically, what the numbers tell you, like I said last week, 12 communities are going to basically be flat for the next 10 years. That's a decade. Okay. So we have to count on basically putting a budget together, not knowing what the future is going to bring. And again, there's some stop losses, but again, if it has to gain so much in order for us to gain anything or get any more. And if it loses, we all lose. If it doesn't gain anything, we all lose 2% right off the top. And then if it loses more, we all lose even more than that. And again, I don't believe it's fair and equitable, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, at the end of the decade, the numbers that they don't tell you is that certain communities that are going to lose, for example, you got Willoughby that's going to go from, they're going to be getting $1,328,000 in 10 years from now. They should be getting $1,739,000 according to the existing formula, and that's if we're using the formula now with the numbers projected out. Again, Willowick, they're going to be getting $1,009,000. They should be getting $1,366,000. So they're going to be giving up $350,000. I mean, that's 30%. A lot of these communities, Willoughby Hills is going to be giving up $200,000. Eastlake will be giving up, $400,000 in 10 years from now. And they're going to be flat for the next 10 years. So if you look at the numbers in 10 years, that's $4 million that they're going to lose over the next 10 years. And again, yes, the townships are in a gain, and we're not saying that they should not be getting more money. Yes, we do, but some of the things, I guess, don't make sense because Madison Township, for example, from 1982, their population decreased. Concord doubled. And what I understand is why there's such a big difference. And again, if you look at the way they're distributing it, we went from a 95% need-based formula. Okay, now they want to go revert, and the whole plan for 10 years is try to get at 100% population, and that was the ultimate goal. They had tried to do it in 7 years, were able to accomplish that, so they went out 10 years. And now they're expecting, again, we were in a room with the trustees, which again, they have a vote, by the way. Mayor was there representing themselves, but then again, they have a vote and a veto vote. And then there were the mayors and managers that were there representing the cities and villages, but we have no vote. So we have to try to sell this to our council. And the more I look at this, I mean, I was for this plan before now that I'm against it. And why? Because I look at the numbers. I mean, we didn't have any numbers. Everything was written out, there was formulas given, and there were a lot of numbers thrown out. But then, again, there was a lot of discrepancy. But overall, the ultimate goal was, look, we need to get to 100% population base. The only way to get there is to do it over a decade. And then from that point, we'll be in a better position then. We'll be close enough to get it at 100%. And again, I don't think that that's, in the sake of compromise, there's no compromise there. I mean, compromise would be, if they want 100%, like I said last week, we're at 5, let's meet halfway, let's go 50-50. We'll go 50 and 50, and then we'll transition that in over the next 5 or 10 years. But, it's like all or none. I mean, they're transitioning in, but then again, it's not truly a population easy formula. The reason why they want to go to population alone, to make it easy. It's not easy. It's so complicated, and now it's even more complicated. And again, why did the states not say initially, when you're to divide this local government fund, you're to do it by population, because that's the fairest and most equitable and easiest way to do it? No, they didn't. They said it has to be on need base. And what they're doing is they're taking from communities who they're saying are getting way too much based on population now, and saying that they have to give it up and give it to the townships, which again, I'm not saying they don't need it, but who's to say they're not doing it on need? What if all these other cities and western communities need this money, which we all do need it, okay? Why do we have to get up? Just because by going to a population-based formula, it dictates that we've been getting too much money for the last 40 years? And actually, it's only been for the last 10 years, because in 2012, when they tried, when the county then asked to rescind this, okay? Well, again, they're saying it doesn't go back to revert to it needs to go to the statutory formula. I disagree, because if that was the case, what is to say that the county at any time in that 40 years could have said, we don't want to go with the alternate anymore. Then they go to statutory, which means they're going to automatically get 30%. okay? I mean, right now, if that was the case, the county should be getting 30% of the money if we're supposed to be going by the statutory formula, which means all they had to do was rescind it. But no, that's not the way it's written, I believe, in the sunset clause. Because it states in the sunset clause that if the approval of an amended alternate formula is not possible, the provisions of present section 5747.53, which is the process to get the alternate formula, shall apply. Which means, again, if they don't, which they didn't come up with it, and they agreed it in 2012, we'll just leave it alone. And that's what they did. So that's what we've been using since '82. And again, since then, no one's contested it. Now, does there need to be some reallocation? Absolutely. But then again, we don't know what the need base is. Their calculations were totally based on if they felt people were getting, or communities were getting too much money because based on the population numbers and the need formula that it was at, that they should give that back and it should be redistributed among the townships. And again, I was going to come here first before this, and talk to the public comment, and basically just tell you guys to table this until we can basically do a little more investigation into it. Because I have, again, there's so many other questions, and this is, we would just, matter of fact, our auditor, Mr. Gallagher, Galloway, I mean, he put together he sent the resolutions out to all the communities already. So you guys haven't even passed this, and it's already out in all the communities, a sample resolution for us to pass. And again, I don't know how these other council members are going to feel about, like I said, losing that much money over the years. And again, for something that, yes, we had the ad hoc meetings, but I wasn't invited to the last 3 of them, and I showed up to the second last one. But then again, I had a lot of concerns and questions. And we only had one formula to deal with. It was either this one, and we have to try to make it work. And that was what I understand, because I did come up with a couple other options, but they were not even considered. Mr. Galloway said, we can put another option. I did. And again, last week I did mention that I had an option how to do it. No one called me this week to say, okay, what is your option? Maybe we should consider it. Because I believe that if we're going to put a resolution in front of these other communities, they should have an option, one way or the other. Or if we are going to put this, okay, what is this? How does it compare to the statutory formula, which is based on need? And again, we could figure that need out. We could figure what the statutory formula is based on need. And I know the county would get 30%, but we can assume that 20% that they're giving up now, we just add that back in there, okay, based on that need formula, and then we can see then we would have a true comparison. But right now, we don't even have a comparison. All we have is the baseline of 1982, which was, again, I think solidified in 2012 when they decided we're going to leave the formula alone, we're not going to redo the formula. And again, now we're trying, like I said, in the case we're trying to make it work, but, the numbers aren't out there. I mean, I think if everyone had the numbers, and the reason when they had the budget commission meeting, they said, well, no one asked any questions. Well, because they told us at the end they were going to give us a spreadsheet. No one gave us a spreadsheet, which they should have given it to us in the beginning, because if everyone saw the spreadsheet, they would have seen that 12 communities are going to be basically flat. And how's that going to sit with all this council? So, again, I was for it, because again, all the hard work, but now that I'm looking and too many questions, I think that we should just get it right. If anything, let's pause, let's wait, and what is the rush? I mean, I understand we're under the time crunch, I understand, the auditor doesn't want to go into these need hearings and all that, but they could work simultaneously. We could have the need hearings and then come up with an alternate right at the last minute. I don't believe that we need to give the state an answer until I believe September, October anyway. So, again, until I can confirm all this, but the other thing is, again, I guess, if anything, I would consider at this point, it's too late to table it, but I don't know what we do at this point, because again, I don't think we should pass it as is. I think we should wait, do a little more work on it, and look at some more options before we go into this. I mean, to ask someone to put together a 10-year plan, I mean, it's just crazy. We don't know what's going to happen next year or the year after, so. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.